I will call the September 16th regular meeting of Irmo Council to order. And I will, I have Barry Walker, the City Councilman Walker here. I'll lead us in the pledge of allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day to come together and conduct the town's business. Give us wisdom, Lord, as we go through the items on our agenda. And Father, we, as you notice, one of our seats are vacant here tonight, Lord, and we just ask you to be with our colleague, our Councilman Walker, as he is healing, I hope, by this time, either in the hospital or at home, Lord. But just be with him, give him strength, and make it a quick recovery. And we give you thanks. In Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
The next item is the reading of the minutes for August 19th. Is there a motion for approval as written?
So moved.
And
Second.
any discussion? All in favor of those as written, do so with show of hands. And the next is the minutes of the September 2nd meeting. Is there a motion for approval of those?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor of those being approved as written, do so with show of hands. Next is the administrative briefing. Mr. Brown, anything we need to add to the briefing?
Yes, sir. Just one thing. We are about to have the orchestra next weekend, and in regard to that, I want to know if council's ready to solicit bids for the additional picnic shelter. It's in the budget, but I need to make sure you all want me to proceed with that now. It'll take about 30 days to get the bids in, so we're looking at early November to come before council with the proposals to start building that, if that's still what we want to do.
Yeah, we
I personally
budgeted.
would like to.
Yeah, we budgeted for it, and that'll be fine. And now we have something to offset some of the costs.
Just need the confirmation.
Any questions, Ms. Brown? Next item is receipt of communications. And the first one is item A, honor flight, Sergeant David. And I will recognize and ask Sergeant David Amy for the Lexington County.
Dennis, Sergeant Dennis.
Sergeant.
Sergeant Dennis.
Well,
Oh, David Amy, I'm
yeah,
sorry, I
yeah.
thought he was.
From the Lexington County Sheriff to come up and do the presentation.
Council Mayor, thank you. Appreciate it. For 8 years now, I've been the Board of Trustees for a program called Honor Flight South Carolina. I'm sure most of you probably know it sends veterans to Washington, D.C. to visit the memorials and everything. For the last 6 years, I've had this gentleman helping me on his off time. Took vacation so we wouldn't have to work. He's been up there for the last 6 years helping. And this year we went over the $36,000 mark. And we've sent a lot of veterans to Washington, D.C. Since the initiation in 2008, we've sent over 3,000 veterans to Washington, D.C. from the Midlands. And we just want to show a little bit of appreciation to them. Courtney Dennis. Sheriff apologized that he's going to be here tonight, but he had an FBI meeting he had to go to. Left this in my capable hands. It says, from Lexington County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Courtney Wayne Dennis, in appreciation for your continued support of Lexington County Sheriff's Department, Honor Flight, and the veterans of South Carolina. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Keep the Midlands Beautiful, Lowe's Grant, and I'll recognize Jacqueline Buck to come up and present that.
Good evening. Thanks for having us here this evening. It is my pleasure to bring forth this grant. Keep the Midlands Beautiful is one of the lucky recipients of a Keep America Beautiful Lowe's grant. Tom Budrick is here from Lowe's.
That's right.
Budrick is here from representing Lowe's this evening, and over 60 grants were given nationwide. Only 19 at this level, at 20,000, and Keep the Midlands Beautiful was the only grant given in South Carolina. Administrator Brown, Bob Brown, was with me all the way with this one. So we're happy to present $20,000 grant to the town of Irmo tonight. If we could get a photo op, that would be wonderful. I have my board chair, Harold Crawford, with me this evening, and also one of my board members, Jake Moore. So this will go to probably an active set that we wanted to do in the park so that kids could have another set to play on in the new community park that we had. So.
We all need to be in this picture.
Come on down.
Everybody.
Come on, Mr. Brown, you are part of this, please. Yeah.
Where do you want it?
Like Lowe's front.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So,
Come on, you want to stand right here?
Okay.
Councilwoman?
absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Got it out? Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much.
And I thank you guys for the opportunity. Very fantastic. Spend it all in one place, 385 Harbison. It's very easy to do.
And also, we do have electronics event coming up November 15th slated for the town. So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You said November 15th?
November 15th, yes. E-waste and shreddment held at Crossroads.
Yeah, we're good.
Thanks so much for coming out, appreciate it.
How may I help you? Well, I have something on the receiving. In that we need to communicate that we never have written a thank you note for the children's garden. And it's beautiful. I just drove by it tonight. And it's really pretty. I think we ought to write them a letter and thank them because it beautifies the whole area. It's very pretty. Turned out beautiful.
And who would you suggest them would be?
I think the Irmo Arbor Day Committee, Mr. Moore might receive the letter, I think, but
I think that that would be very
it
fitting.
has flourished since I was there 2 weeks ago. They, the geranium, the caladiums have bushed out and all that. It looks very, very nice.
I would totally agree with you. The Arbor Day Committee has contributed to this town more than anyone can imagine. And they do it with no thanks, for the most part. There has been thousands and thousands of dollars that have been contributed just to the children's
And
Park
hundreds of
there.
trees, hundreds of trees.
as well, but just in that location, and with not only their contribution, but they have brought others in as sort of building the little house there. So I think that they need a very big round of applause, and I'd like to see the town maybe go a little further as far as the resolution would go. And so I'm going to ask our town administrator if he might give me some guidance on how we need to word something like that.
Well, in addition, I believe we need to thank Hurricane Construction.
That's what I'm talking
They built a
about.
little house.
And also the name of the company that gave the plants.
What's Doug's company's name?
Seven of the plant shop.
Seven Oaks Plant Shop gave the plans.
There's a lot of people to be thanked here, and so many times we take credit for it as the town, and people wonder how in the world the town did that, and they look at their tax bill and it has a big zero on it for the town of Irmo, and they say, how does this happen? And it's only because of people like the Arbor Day Committee and others that come forth and give lots of labor and love.
I love. Maybe we should write a thank you note to Hurricane and Seven Oaks too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
We should.
I'd like that to be part of a resolution.
Because it's lovely, it really is.
And one more thing. I know they're here, but Keep the Midlands Beautiful has brought money to that park too. And if we're one of 19 recipients of this grant, it's very unusual, I would think, to get the grant. So we certainly thank them for their efforts
Certainly do.
and giving to our town park. So I think we need to do a resolution to them as well.
Okay, that's good. That gives you something to do tomorrow.
Okay. Got it.
And come out of help, they still not got you. We'll just sleep by that, and then she may come in later, we'll move back to it maybe or something. Any other received communications? Seeing none, next item is presentation by citizens. This is where anyone who wants to speak to council about anything that's on the agenda tonight may do so at this time. All we ask is you give us your name and address for the record. Anyone?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. George Glassmeyer, 100 Denbeck Road. I'd like to address item E under new business, the proposal to annex Irmo High School, Irmo Middle School, and Crossroads Middle School. I've lived in this town over 27 years in the same house. I've seen a lot of ideas placed on the town council agenda over those years, and a lot of good ideas and a lot of bad ideas. This is perhaps, in my view, the worst idea I've ever seen in the 27 years. To annex those schools, I see nothing in the plus column other than perhaps to make the Lexington County Sheriff your best friend for life. Because to annex those schools, we would have no prospect of any tax revenue ever. Certainly no business license fees. The only revenue that I could see potentially would be the utility fees, and I'm not sure that they pay those to the town. I don't know the answer to that, but that would be really insignificant. The problems that we would embrace by annexing those schools would place a tremendous burden on our law enforcement. And I'm concerned that some members of council don't understand the breadth of that issue. While I understand that currently Lexington County presently by contract provides the school resource officers for those schools, and by contract they currently provide the security for the athletic events such as the football games, there's a whole array of law enforcement issues that are going to come to a head if we take those schools. Our officers will be responding to any law enforcement call there in the evenings, at nights, weekends, summer, when school's not in session. And I'm concerned that even when there's an SRO there, that he will be the first responder only. He'll stop the bleeding and then call the Irmo Police Department. Our guy's going to be working traffic accidents there, in the parking lot, car break-ins, any fights that break out in the school. I don't know that we have, I'm convinced we don't have the staffing for that now. So there's really no upside to annexing these schools and a whole lot of downside. I think it's just lunacy, in my view, to annex these schools. And I would encourage you to vote no resoundingly for that proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to address Irmo County Council? Seeing none. Next item is unfinished business. Second reading of ordinance 1410 to annex Lexington County tax map 2797-0119, which is 107 Auburn Court. Is there a motion for second reading?
So moved.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Again, just for identification, this is that property right up, that goes by kind of behind Ethan Allen, that mattress
It's the little mattress.
place there.
Any other discussion? I think there was a gentleman that spoke from the
Civic Association.
Quail Valley Association that gave us some information that Bob's going to try to resolve on that about the mud.
I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Any more discussion?
How much, what's the size of the property?
let me take a quick look here. I think it's less than an acre.
All that back there? It could be more than an acre.
No, just the match place.
Oh, just the match.
That's the only thing we're in. We've got everything else in the town. I'm gonna say it's about 3/4 of an acre.
And he's, I think you said tearing it down and building something
A
over
mall,
through there.
a little mall in there, yes.
Is there any more discussion? All in favor then of second reading to ordinance to land, do so with show of hands. All in favor? Any opposed? Next item is new business, approval to purchase playground equipment from Playgrounds of the Carolinas in the amount of $71,356.33. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes. The money we just received very kindly from Keep the Midlands will apply to this. Is that right?
That's correct.
Which means you save the town a lot of money. We need it. I drove by there at 6 o'clock tonight. There were 15 cars at the picnic shelter and the playground. At 6 o'clock at night, I think that's unusual. During the day, you can hardly get in because it is truly being used, and I am thrilled. I'm so glad. But we need the extra playground facilities, and we need an extra picnic area. But I'll settle for the playground.
I was there today from 1 to 4 with my grandson, and there were 43 children that came during that time. Some were very disappointed that yesterday they couldn't go because it rained so bad. But, I mean, it's used constantly.
It is.
The only thing, I'm looking at this beautiful picture here, is this a rendition of what was actually bid? Will we have more swings than that? They're almost to the point of taking numbers over there.
They are on the
What's
swing.
the swinging?
Right, the swings will be separate because I wasn't sure where we were gonna put them, here or by the new
Okay.
picnic shelter.
Okay.
You know.
But,
We can put them anywhere. I mean, that's just, they're like $4,000 a pop, but we had $100,000 in the budget for this. And with the Lowe's grant, we're only at $54,000, so we can buy swing sets once we identify exactly where we want to put them. But that wasn't in the bid.
I'm sure. But it's well used.
well used.
I personally love the little piano.
Oh, the one that's up there now, the little keep it thing.
Yeah.
I've done road both.
I personally love the phone.
Yeah.
I can't help it, but I love
It is
it.
nice.
Any more discussion? All in favor then of the approval to purchase the playground equipment from Playgrounds of the Carolinas in the amount of $71,356, do so with show of hands.
Oh, a footnote, now this will have the same stuff on the ground.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
Cost, that stuff's about 40,
It was
30, 40.
about 30,000.
Yeah, that stuff's
31,000.
expensive, but it will not hurt yourself.
Next item is item B, approval to transfer ABC funds in the amount of $4,150 to the Oak Fund. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? None being, all in favor then, and just for the record, I'll let you know, I am voting for this, because I think we got nowhere else right now to put the money. Lord. We'll test out.
The ceiling will fall, I tell you.
But I think we got nowhere, I won't say nowhere else, but nowhere better. So, all in favor then of the approval of the transfer in the amount of $4,150? And do so shortly. All opposed? Next item is approval of a grant match to South Carolina DOT in the amount of $20,000 for phase 2 of the safety LU project, is that Safety Blue or
Safety Blue.
Safety Blue project on Carlisle Motion Street. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Now, we had bid this out and it came back, it was too much.
It was like $100,000 just for this one project.
Yeah.
We kind of stopped them all, and then COG, I think it is, kind of came up with the extra money,
Well,
and we just got to pay the 20%
that's correct.
extra of the extra money.
They're paying 80%, we're paying 20.
Okay. And then this one will get started on, moved on, or where?
They're almost done with it, they just, with the planning and design.
Plan.
So this way, this will allow them to bid it out and complete the project.
When do you think they'll bid it, this year, or?
We've been waiting 3 years, right, Jake?
Oh, yes.
I suspect it's gonna be before Christmas.
Good. Any more questions? All in favor then of the 20,000 grant match to finish up the sidewalk at Carlisle and Mosley, do so with show of hand.
Can I just ask a question? In regards to this project, as they start looking at it, I know that we went up Eastview with sidewalks up to, was that Battery?
Battery Road.
And it stopped. And then we have that short distance between Battery
And the park.
and the entrance to the park, to the new community park. Really, it's a short distance, maybe a third of a block or so. The fact that we've got construction crews on the site in town, would it be advantageous to us to inquire as to the cost to extend that sidewalk onto the park? Or are there other plans there?
We've already been approved for a grant for this year.
Oh,
Complete
okay.
that sidewalk.
Complete that little section, okay. Good.
So we'll get a contract from DOT. It normally takes them 6 months from the approval date to say,
Okay.
give us your match for that portion, and then that'll start the process, but we're still looking a couple years down. Nothing moves fast. But that's about $60,000 project just to do that.
Yeah, I know that there are several projects in town that we've been able to take advantage of and getting completed ahead of schedule simply because we had contractors here with equipment on the ground. They didn't have to come in and stage their equipment. And we were able to get some repairs done and some new work done at a much better price.
I'll ask them, but they move real slow.
I know years ago, they were working on a sidewalk, and if they felt like they were under budget, and we wanted them to do more, they'd go ahead and do it.
And use that money.
Use that money, but I think nowadays with that new, since we kind of had to turn everything over to them and let them manage it, now they kind of do what's on the thing, and that's it. I don't know any of them are any less anymore.
It's turned into a real slow process. That's why a lot of other people don't use it. I mean, they take 3 or 4 years to get something actually completed.
And while we're talking about the issue, I don't know if anywhere down the road, we got anything planned for the section of that sidewalk that's behind where the neighborhood is Foxfront, where the fence is, as far as doing any kind of, I won't say beautification down to there.
We have to watch that.
I think that'd be something we would dress up behind the sidewalk all down through there, maybe we need to wait till the other half's done and then do it all at one time, but that'd probably be a good place for a good project.
We could, or if Arbor Day gets a little extra money, talk them into it.
Our problem is, we've raised so far this year a little better than $40,000. We obviously are open for donations from anyone, but we've been in conversation with the school district about trying to landscape Irmo Elementary School. The actual landscaping of the hill behind Irmo Elementary School is going to cost around $100,000. The school district is going to spend a decent amount of money this year, but it doesn't have the funds to do the whole project. We have tentatively committed with the school district to assist them in the landscaping of Irmo Elementary. Because of the mammoth size of the hill and because of the work which needs to be done on the front and along the entrance of Irmo High School, you probably have got a project that will take Arbor Day's money, most of it, for the next 3 years. The school district is going to help us as it can. We're going to help the school district as it can. And we are working in partnership with the SIC at Irmo Elementary, hopefully to have some additional funds raised by the people who go there. We are going to be, assuming that we continue with the idea of landscaping Irmo Elementary, our funds are probably going to be taken for the next 2 to 3 years at Irmo Elementary. Now, when we finish there, it is going to be something to see, and I am told that you will see the first phase of the work start the end of September, which will entail major green material placed on that portion of the hill in view of Lake Murray Boulevard. So we're going to have that significantly enhanced by November, and exactly where we put our money, I'm not sure that we know yet, but we know that the money we've just raised is probably going to Irmo Elementary. But we have had discussions with WIT about the fact that the area you're talking about really could use a facelift. Those sidewalks were really nice, and planning there would be, I know the town allocates so much money per year for the beautification. It might not be a bad place for us to talk about some town.
Yeah, we have like 15, I'm gonna say 15,000, but I ain't 100% sure that's right.
That's what we have in a separate beautification, but I can't imagine this would cost more than about $4,000 or $5,000 just to put some.
If you're talking $4,000 or $5,000, and that's up to WIT, we could probably find it. I'd have to talk to the committee, because at times I get, as Paul will tell you, at times I get overridden with what I want to do. That's true. They have me to raise the money. If I got to go to spend it, they got to say so. Matter of fact, we just spent some Arbor Day money on mulch at Irmo Elementary. But if you're talking $4,000 or $5,000, we could probably cut some money out and put it over there. And again, we make the maximum bang for the buck when we're able to provide the material and the town provide the labor. WIT can buy the material for less than wholesale, and when the town can provide the labor, you wind up getting about a 3-for-1 expenditure. If we spend $100, it's like paying a landscaper $300. So it's always disappointing when we're having to hire private landscapers to do the work. But which people are, they're trying to do community park, they're trying to do Christmas lights, they're trying to do the interstate rehabilitation, and then they're trying to do everything we want them to do, and there's just so many hours in the day. But if seriously y'all want us to make a contribution, if you're talking that kind of money, we could probably find it for you. So I wasn't asking.
Next item,
We need to vote on it. Did we vote?
did we? Yeah,
We voted to,
Yeah.
we did on the grant.
on the grant.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, before you get to the next item, I spoke with Mr. Walker in pre-op. I believe Harvey did as well.
I spoke to him tonight just before coming into the meeting.
Is he okay?
He is in the hospital and will be there for a couple more days.
Okay.
They had some problems with getting chemistry right in order to do the procedure, and they postponed the procedure until possibly tomorrow.
Well, he asked me, and I think he asked Harvey, if we could please delay, table, defer the next 3 items until he
To
can.
defer, not to table.
Huh?
Not to table, but
To
to
defer
defer.
the next 3 items until he can be here to present them himself. And since they're his, he put them on the agenda. I think it's a reasonable request. And I would hope that we could do that. Is there a reason why we can't?
Well, we can. The only thing we need to do would be, since they're on, well, there's a couple things we do. They're on the agenda, so we need to either make a motion to defer them straight off the bat. And D and F really doesn't matter. The only one is E. If we defer that one, anything we defer, we gotta say defer till the next meeting, so to speak. Then we'll have to put it back on the agenda next meeting. If that one is a possibility, as what Beth said, then, I just don't.
Well, that's the other thing. I talked to Beth Watson yesterday and today, and she wants us to wait to handle this until she can talk to us, or meet with us, whatever. And I understand that too. Maybe it's just a little too preliminary to vote on any of these things until we let Barry be here to say his piece and let Beth tell us what she wants to tell us. And she has strong opinions about it, and I think we ought to listen.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of times. I think they want to kind of hold off until we've had a
Yeah,
chance.
they do.
I think the only thing too that Jim Turner had mentioned to me the other day is he kind of wanted to know, do we want to move forward with the business and the school at the same time? How does council feel about that? And I think that was one thing that we may need to discuss a little bit, just so they know. Now, we can.
I would think we want to do, that if we did this, that that's the way we want to do it. I know we could do it other ways, but we've got to offset the costs somehow. There will be cost, and it might escalate. I just.
One thing we can do is, before we discuss it all, is we can get a motion to defer, and we can get one motion to defer D, E, and F all at one time if we want to.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then during the discussion about that, we can discuss a little bit about how we want to do it, and that'll be on the record, and then they can kind of know from there. So, and we can defer each one individually, or just make a motion to.
I make a motion to defer D, E, and F.
Okay. So
I'll
this-
second.
Any discussion about deferring these?
Yeah, just like Kathy was saying, I think that when a seated council member asks for something that they put on the agenda, and apparently he has some facts or fiction or feelings about something that he feels like that he needs to do, or if it were me, if I felt like I needed, I would expect the respect from the rest of council.
Well,
To do
and
that.
he was laying there today with the IV in, and calling me and saying, would you do this for me? And I said, go to surgery, Barry. Yeah, we'll do that. So obviously, it's something he feels strongly about.
As far as that city, or, let's see what it says on here, approval to change the annexation from the 75 to the 100. You're saying you'd rather see the businesses,
I would, or I'd like to try.
and
But I think we need to have the, of course, let Mr. Walker present his information, and as the, I think Beth is the chairman of
She's the chairman.
school board, they apparently have some they want input
She,
as well,
she
so.
was very clear that she wanted a delay. And
I think-
so she could come to the meeting, and she's more than welcome.
But I know Jim had asked about, well, we as a council, and I told him, I said, well, we discussed it one time before, and we wanted to kind of have it all together. I think he just wants to know, is that the way we feel, so that he can correctly.
I understand.
And we can discuss it again when we bring it back up, but I think for them to know in the next couple of weeks, do we really want to kind of see all the businesses on there together? Yeah. We prefer that if we can. And then we can kind of let them know too, so. So, we've got a motion to defer. All in favor then of the deferral, to defer these 3 items until the next meeting? That would be the October,
Your first one, October, yes.
October 7th or 6th or something like that?
Yeah.
6th. To the October 6th meeting. Do so
October
show.
7th.
Seventh.
October 7th.
Seven? Okay, I'm voting.
Do so a show of hands.
Okay.
And
You may have to come back.
next item is a presentation by citizens. This is for anyone who wants to speak to council about anything, whether it's on the agenda or not on the agenda, may do so at this time. All we ask is you give us your name and address for the record. Anyone who would like to address council.
My name is John Isidore. I live at 22 Saddleback Ledge Court, Irmo. I am the post adjutant for the American Legion Post 174, Irmo St. Andrews. I'm here to introduce myself, explain that we're trying to get our post rejuvenated and become a more focal part in our community. We are planning to request to use the Irmo gazebo and the Veterans Park for a Veteran Day presentation on November 9th, which I believe is the Sunday before Veterans Day. And we are also getting more active with the schools and trying to have a better focus on Americanism and support of the military within the schools. If anybody needs any information, I do have some pamphlets. Please see me after the meeting.
And does he need to reserve those, I guess, or just contact
That's
him?
right up on
Not the
Woodrow,
Veterans
yeah.
Park.
Not
That's
the
what we're
veterans
talking
part,
about.
but the casino.
Right across from the Lexington Urgent Care.
Yeah, you will need to get in touch with Brown.
I talked with him
About
before.
the gazebo.
Get it reserved and all.
Yes.
Do you waive the fee for nonprofits?
I'm sorry,
Do you waive the fee for that for nonprofits?
we don't have a fee for the Veterans Park.
For the gazebo you do,
For
don't
the
you?
gazebo, we do,
Is that waived?
and we do.
Good.
Thank you.
And
Thank
at
you. Nice to meet you.
the November 9th thing, you'll be letting, I guess, everybody know about it?
We're gonna try and get it in the Irmo newspaper and also on the Irmo channel on Time Warner Cable.
We got the, say, listserv too, Facebook and all that kind of stuff too.
We have a webpage too, it's pretty good.
I'll do my best to get all that taken care of when I come reserve it.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
One more, I'm Jake, for the record, I'm Jake Moore, town attorney. The issue on Charing Cross, David Charneski has been here a number of times. I am told that the work has been done. I drove by several times during the most recent heavy rain, and it didn't appear there was any water in David's yard. I have called David on several occasions and spoken with him. He tells me so far so good, it appears that it has worked. The only problem that remains is the sinkhole in his backyard, which appears to be a Richland County responsibility. And, you know, if in fact the drainage is fixed, it not only affects David, but his neighbors down there too. And that's a very good thing that we've done to help.
It is. Truly is.
That work has been completed. I live, you know, around the corner. And, they did quite a bit of work there.
Yeah, they did.
They did a lot of deep digging and piping.
John Hardy deserves a word of thanks for that. John Hardy was a big help in getting that done.
Is that the John Hardy DOT Commissioner?
Mhm.
Anyone else would like to address council? Seeing none, next item is executive session. You need it, or?
Yeah, we do, don't we? We don't,
Nothing I'm aware of right now, no.
so we don't. Okay. Okay, we're fine.
Okay. Next item is adjournment. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.